Please state your name for the court.
Dr. Jason Holmes.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a professor of psychology at the University of Cambridge.
Have you served as a consultant to any law enforcement agencies?
Yes, many times.
Have you ever testified on behalf of the defense in a criminal case?
Yes, I have.
How many cases dealing with confessions have you been involved with?
I've been requested to analyse a total of 13 separate interrogations leading to confessions.
How many times have you been qualified as an expert in the area of influence and police interrogation?
25 times, with 13 of those ending in confessions.
Okay, can you tell the court and the jury a little about your education and background?
I received my bachelor and master's degree in sociology from Cambridge, then a PhD in the psychology department of Cambridge University, specialising in social psychology.
Do you have any experience or training in the area of influence, more specifically in the area of influence with regard to police questioning?
It's been my field of interest for the last 10 or so years. I became interested in complex real-world systems of influence, that is, very complicated influence environments, and how those environments have massive effects on individuals. Then I did a lot of work studying cult groups, that is to say, groups that are very strongly organised, that exert enormous pressure on individuals, and that can lead to individuals to change the way in which they see the world. They may take part in activities that they otherwise would not ordinarily get involved in. Then my interest in influence continued, and I began to become interested in the study of police interrogation. Police interrogation is the root of techniques that have to do with coercing confessions from individuals and generally manipulating them in extraordinary ways.
Has any of your work been published?
Yes, I've published one book on the subject, 15 or more articles in the scientific journals, and presented papers at many conferences over the years. I also shared an Orwell Literary Prize.
And what is it that you studied in relation to this case?
I talked with Jesse Miskelly regarding his confession on January the 16th and produced an 87-page transcript. I reviewed the police officer reports. I reviewed the actual transcript of one part of Jesse's interrogation that was tape recorded, and studied and analysed their notes, studied and analysed their testimony.
Doctor, is it possible for police interrogation tactics to produce a false confession?
Yes, absolutely.
And are certain individuals more susceptible to coercive police tactics than others?
Anyone can produce a false confession, but research has shown those lacking in self-esteem or are mentally disabled are more likely to produce false confessions over coercive conditions.
Can you tell the jury how you analyze a confession?
Well, the first thing that is necessary to try and get a clear picture of the history of the interrogation, of exactly what happened step by step. First, it becomes necessary to identify what actually happened in the interrogation and the order in which things happened, to then relate that to the statements that are undisputed. That is to say, the parts of the interrogation which are recorded, so that we can relate the analysis to the history of the interrogation as it occurred in the unrecorded parts as reported by the police and the suspect. This is done to try and rebuild and get a picture of how the interrogation process from start to finish, as well as the changes that occurred over the course of the interrogation.
Doctor, have you reviewed Jesse Miskelly's case?
Yes, I have.
And you've read the transcripts and his statements to the police, both statements?
Yes, I did.
And you've seen the tapes of his confession?
Yes.
And you've heard the officers testify at a previous hearing?
Yes, I did.
And you've interviewed Jesse Miskelly regarding his interrogation and his confession?
That's correct.
Have you formed an opinion with regard to the specific issue of the voluntary nature of the defendant's statement to the police?
Yes, I have.
And what is that opinion?
That Jesse Miskelly was not coerced in confessing for this crime.
Meaning?
Jesse Miskelly's confession was a valid confession.
No further questions. Thank you, Dr. Holmes.